Hello, hello, I'm Kads, and welcome back to the free-to-play review. So it is once again time for everyone's favorite skippable event, the latest iteration of the Summon Pool, the Holy Summon Pool. In this case, the theme is champions from the Sacred Order faction, which of course the crown jewel being the Falmond Mornsword, the latest faction unity champion, who is honestly pretty solid from a kit perspective. I don't think you necessarily need to pair him with a bunch of Sacred Order champions to really get the value out of him, but nonetheless, of course, they do help strengthen his kit. But is he worth breaking the bank for compared to ones that have like newts in them and duchesses and all those Kaimars and whatever? Probably not. So I don't think it's going to be super popular amongst the masses, at least the masses that spend money. But nonetheless, it is once again an opportunity to get an exclusive champion or a chance to get some of the other champions here. I think Martyr is pretty good. She's very, very strong now. Hard mode Fire Knight. Cupidus is particularly strong when paired with Venus, but if you don't have Venus, he's probably not as strong on his own. And then Archbishop Penthroy, which is the last legendary I've actually gotten on my account, who is decent for Hydra, but again, not something that I would probably be worth breaking the bank for. When it comes to the epics, there's only a handful of notable ones. Deacon Armstrong is of course very strong, but if you use promo codes at the start of the game, you already have him, or you might just happen to have pulled him already. Vanax, really strong. Single target A1 that can block revive. Very, very good for the Wukong meta that we are in, and Mordecai, AoE HP burn, pretty useful, but the rest of them not too amazing, but you know, some honorable mentions here and there. Sanguinia, Anchorite, and Lodric coming to mind. When it comes to the shards themselves, in this case, we do have a 6% chance to get a legendary, so it's essentially a sacred shard 1-to-1. 94% chance to get an epic. They cost 30 fragments per, which is pretty much what we've seen the last few iterations of this. And there are currently two sources to get them. The Sand Devil tournament, which at this point is just the expectation every time there is a not every time. Every time there is a summon pool, there is a Sand Devil Tournament tournament that always has 30 fragments here at the top, 3,500 on the points. And then finally, they got their stuff together and they were able to launch the Fire Knight Turn Attack tournament here, which also has the other 30 points, 6,300, which is a lot in fairness over the course of 2 days. But you could earn yourself all the way out to 2 free summons or 2 free cracks at seeing what you can get from the summon pool. So is it worth it? Up to you to decide. For me personally, like I alluded to at the beginning, this is just a skip. I typically don't do the Sand Devil Tourney Deck tournaments. I did it one time because Eleanoril was in the pool, which is one of my most wanted champions, and so it felt worth it to invest. But there also wasn't much else going on at that time, and we did also have the Clan Shop Energy, which was a big reason of why I went for that one. So that was very, very niche in terms of the utility for myself. And in this case, we don't have the Clan Shop Energy. There's a lot more important things to focus on, like the champion training aspect of grinding out the hero's path. So that's where my energy is going to be dedicated to over the next couple of days. So I'm not going to worry about this particular summon pool. And while we're on the subject of summoning in general, I did want to mention that there is, of course, an ancient POGO or pull one, get one, if you will, going on right now. And I guess I'll take the opportunity here to kind of share what my thoughts are on these in general. Obviously, I'm not pulling for these because I'm transparent with you guys. Every time I pull some sort of shard or whatever, you guys are it's always on camera so you guys can see what happens. You can see when I actually participate in events. Therefore, the assumption being that if you don't see me release a video on a shard event, that means I didn't pull for them. That's the implied logic, if you want to think of it that way. But in this case, it wasn't really worth it for me to participate. Pogos can be absolutely very, very strong if you're playing around Mercy. But in my case, if we pop open the Mercy tracker, you can see that we are 152 shards, ancient shards away from Mercy. And then there's still 20 deep into Mercy to guarantee yourself a legendary. So worst case, which is the way I like to think about it, am I willing to accept the worst case, not just hoping for some lucky case? So am I willing to accept parting with 170 ancients just for a chance at a double legendary? No, that's a bit too steep. My boundary is somewhere around 100 ancients. So if I was about 120 in without a legendary, then I'd be willing to go 100, maybe 120 deeper to go for the POGO. And I know that sounds arbitrary, but 170 is basically a guaranteed. And so that's where guaranteed ancients are right now. And technically it would be guaranteed and it would be guaranteed too. but not knowing what I would get out of it and investing like a third of my shard pool just doesn't feel worth it going in blind. I'd rather save it or wait for an opportunity where it's a little bit more favorable, where I can get a lot more bang for my buck by investing a few ancient shards, like 50 or 60, whatever. Again, assuming I have bad luck getting up all the way up to that level of mercy. And then it just feels more worth it to invest 50, 60 ancients and then secure a double legendary. So there's always going to be another POGO in the future. This is something I've been reiterating lately, that there's always going to be more events in the future, so you don't have to always do every single one right this second. There's going to be another ancient POGO. There's going to be another sacred POGO. There's going to be another 2x, etc. There's going to be more progressive chance events. There's always going to be more shard events, so you don't have to do the one right now that has the thing that you might want, and it's going to come around. It might not be in a few days, it might not be in a few weeks, but eventually, whatever you're looking for, what the event you're looking for is going to come back around. And so just prepare for that one instead of going for every single one that comes up. So yeah, that's going to do it for the free-to-play review of the Holy Summon Pool. It's pretty much the same as the rest of them. You know, spend the money if you really care to try and go for the champions, or just skip it if it doesn't really appeal to you. There's no punishment for not participating as with anything else in the game. That said, do let me know if you're going for some free summons in the Summon Pool, or better yet, let me know if you're going for the Ancient Pogo where you're close to mercy. What did you get from your double legendary pulls? As always, if you did find this video helpful, then be sure to hit that like button down below, and feel free to subscribe to the channel if you are enjoying the content for more content just like this one in the future. Thanks for watching, and have a good one.